I think it's already frozen, actually. Oh, no, it's not frozen. They're just not saying anything. Or my audio's not working. It was just working, I promise. All right, for those of just joining, I'm going to be streaming the City of Phoenix City Council meeting for today, which is going to be talking about the 3 mobile home parks.
Please remain standing and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
They're going through their beginning bullshit here. The audio keeps cutting out. Looks like they're having some audio issues.
Thank you so much, Chaplain Fesmeyer. It is an important week for so many of our residents in religious observations, and I wish everyone meaningful celebrations. We'll call the formal meeting to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman DeCiccio?
Here.
Councilmember Garcia?
Here.
Councilwoman Guardado?
Here.
All right, while they're going through their little process here, so I'm going to basically read to you guys here this post from Periwinkle Strong on Instagram, where it's from Carlos Garcia, who's here today. And they're basically just saying that we need real leadership to address our homelessness crisis. Each of us has worked diligently with city staff, community leaders, and nonprofit partners to bring forward additional shelter beds and important support services. But we will never be able to make real progress with the problem of homelessness until we look upstream to see how we can prevent people from losing their housing in the first place. So that's what's happening here. This is something that's like kind of like right before we get to the activism that I do directly, that this is how people end up being homeless. So we have a moratorium being put forward before the council today, because if they don't, 3 mobile home parks are going to, like, over 300 residents, as the this document says. I'm pointing at it, but you guys can't see it. So over 300 residents basically are going to be losing their housing. So that's 300 people that we could keep out of the streets today. So we'll see what they do.
Gracias. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mario. Will the city clerk please read the 24-hour paragraph?
The titles of the following ordinance and resolution numbers on the agenda were available to the public at least 24 hours prior to this council meeting, and therefore may be read by title or agenda item only. Ordinances number G7089 through 7099, S49518, 49529 through 49564, and 49566, and resolutions 22108 through 22109.
Will the city attorney please explain the role of public comment?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Members of the public may speak for up to 2 minutes to comment on agenda items. Comments must be related to the agenda item and the action being considered by the council. General comments that go beyond the scope of the agenda item must be made in the citizen comment session at the end of the agenda. The City Council and staff cannot discuss or comment on matters related to pending investigations, claims, or litigation. City Code requires speakers to present their comments in a respectful and courteous manner. Profane language, threats, or personal attacks on members of the public, council members, or staff are not allowed. A person who violates these rules will lose the opportunity to continue to speak.
Thank you. Today is a milestone council meeting, and I wanted to turn to Councilman DeCiccio for some remarks.
Well, thank you, Mayor. It's a milestone because in about a week and a half, I'll be Citizen Sal, rather than Councilman Sal. And most people know that I don't like to use the title anyways. But I do want to thank everybody. I mean, we've had, it's strange. It's very an emotional time too. I mean, I've been doing this for close to 20 years now. One of the longest, not the longest that's ever done it on the council. But it's also been a time that it gives you a chance to do some major reflection. And time goes by quick. It's like that Kenny Chesney song where he says, "Don't blink because time goes by so quickly." And it even says that in the Bible. It talks about a blink of an eye, and that's how fast our lives go. And it does go fast. And it also makes you reflect back and be able to look at those things. And so I started putting together a list of accomplishments and things like that. And it was over 17 pages. But, after many years, you do get those. But each of those accomplishments were done because of so many people that were there. You never can do things on your own. And that's probably the most important thing that I was able to find out.
This guy's a
is
snake.
that you look at these things and you realize all the people that made those things happen, even though they're accomplishments that are attached to your name. They're not accomplishments that you do on your own. You can't do anything on your own. It's virtually impossible. You have to be able to have a good group of people behind you. From my end of it, I've been blessed with, God blessed me with a great family. My mom and dad, who helped me in my first election, they couldn't speak English that well. Most of you may know that, or don't know. My first language was Italian. I couldn't speak English until I got in the first grade. So my parents were from there.
Shut up, Sal.
My entire office is a family of immigrants. We all are to some level, right? But they're all first generation. And so my mom and dad would get up at 5 o'clock every morning in the first election because no one thought I had a chance of winning. They'd get up at 5 o'clock and they would go door to door till about 8:30 in the morning every day. And they were afraid because of their accent that they might, I get emotional
World's
talking
smallest
about it,
violin for you, Sal.
that they might lose votes for me. But instead they got me votes because they were such good people, So they did that. My wife at the time, Debbie, and my children had, we were always.
This is going to be really boring. This is honestly, I've only recently started streaming these things just so people can suffer with me.
And they're the ones that get all the bumps. Everyone thinks that the politicians are the ones that get under attack, but it's really the families. So, when people come under attack, it's not them. It's like our police officers that are here today. When we end up attacking them for whatever reason. That we attack their families.
Attack?
And that's
Recording.
really hard
Attack.
on those people.
Holding them
But
accountable.
I've been blessed
Attack.
because we have an amazing staff here. Jeff, you have probably one of the best teams I've ever seen. I've had quite a few administrations to go through, but your team is really, really good. And they're very caring, and they do want to move the ball forward and make the city a better place. Even though we have political disagreements up here, they're just great to work with. I've worked with how many mayors now? I don't even know. I was trying to count them, and I started thinking, how many mayors have I gone through? But they really do care. It's not what you believe philosophically at times, but it is what you...
Like, honestly, I find this so incredibly disrespectful to all the people that are there, like literally fighting for their housing. And this motherfucker with all his fucking privilege sits up there just discussing his fucking lineage and how he's from fucking immigrants. Nobody gives a fuck, Sal. Shut the fuck up. You're not fucking speaking for anybody but yourself, and it's fucking obvious.
Very driven to get things done and very protective of our community. And I've been very lucky to have them. My chief of staff right now is Felicita Mendoza. She's just an incredible person. Just an incredible person.
It's taking up everybody's time fucking talking about
himself. Yells at me all
himself.
the time.
Literally.
So that's usually a good sign of a good person who's always, pushing you to be better than you should be and you could be. So I do want to thank everybody. I don't mean to make it long, but it's been a long ride, and I really appreciate everything that everyone's ever done for me.
The fucking privilege.
Which is a lot.
And it's like I don't know if they're gonna show the crowd, but there's like
Jeff,
all these families there that are literally
all
struggling
people.
to keep their housing, and
we're just blessed to have people like this here and the staff that we have here. I look around at all the staffers that I've worked with, and they're just good people. And that's the one takeaway I think that people should take when they look at what the city of Phoenix is who are the people behind the city of Phoenix and the ones that drive this agenda here. And they're just good people. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. And I have particularly enjoyed getting to know your daughters, and it feels like I've gotten a little bit of chance to watch them grow up. So we are excited to see what's next for them. Councilman Waring.
Well, Sal, the retirement article about this day came out like 2 years ago. I never totally understood that. The people who are laughing obviously know, because it seems like kind of premature. But in any case, I'll kind of reiterate what I said to them at the time. You've been a total change agent for the city, mixing things up. I think that's healthy, and I really think you've been a leader in that you've taken on challenges that maybe others wouldn't have taken on and been successful. even if, when you weren't, you spurred the conversation that I think made the city better and certainly challenged. Probably didn't always appreciate it. Heck, sometimes probably I didn't always appreciate it. But you challenged the conventional thinking, and I think that's something that is very admirable in most people.
All these fuckers
for
are.
an elected official,
Yay.
but it's easier.
We've got your lives in our hands.
So, you've been doing this a long time, and I can't believe you stuck it out for this long, but good for you for doing it. But enjoy your retirement. But it's been a pleasure and a lot of fun, and you'll be missed.
No, you fucking won't, Sal.
Councilwoman Gordon.
Except by your fucking
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, likewise, thank you so much, Sal, for all of your hard work. I know when I was running for office and we met for the first time, just thank you
Good
for
riddance.
all of your support and all of your help and everything that I've been able to learn. I think 4 years have gone by really fast. So just want to thank you for all of your support and all the different things that we actually were able to work on together in the last 4 years. And also enjoyed getting to know your daughters as well. And the things that we've been able to do together. I think, all of that stuff,
You know where the appropriate place to do this is? In their little fucking meeting room behind closed doors so they can go fillet each other over their difficulties running people's lives and ruining them. That's where that would be appropriate. Come on. The fuck is this self-serving shit?
Not necessarily always agreeing philosophically. I think coming on the council a couple of years ago, I had an impression of what that would mean and, political party and, kind of assumed.
This is why I don't go anymore.
I remember a story.
This is
exhausting
to sit through.
Council meetings, I had pulled an item on something about electric vehicles, and I was just commenting to say something good on it, and I remember that you had comments, and I just kind of assumed that they would be negative.
Fucking
and that
privilege.
There would be something about
she's
that
openly running
we're
for
gonna say
Congress.
you
That's
actually
the
very,
only
very
reason she
positive.
ever
And
replies
for
to me.
that
This is
was
a
a wake-up call and a reminder.
This is Yasamin Ansari. This is the lady I'm always yelling at. I live in her district. She's in charge of this district. She became vice mayor. She's running a bid for Congress. She's just another fucking snake in a blue cape. Don't fucking trust this bitch.
We've been able to do that in the short time that we did get to overlap. So thank you for your service to the city. Councilmember Garcia.
Thank you. Sal, it's been great to get to know you. I think people often think of political spectrums left to right, but I'm a strong believer in that there's a rich to poor or a corporate to people's interest. And I really think there was areas where we're thinking about the people.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck
yeah, actually.
You spoke about your upbringing now and your life situations. And so really appreciative of that. 2 weeks ago, you took a tremendous stand that are going to support working families in the city for a long time. So
Carlos got replaced by police-friendly Kesha. He was the only one that was an abolitionist, so it's just like going to get worse from here, honestly.
And you
it's
always
really depressing overall.
For the little people and taking on the corporation. So thank you for your service.
Well, and Carlos, thank you too. I mean, we didn't agree philosophically, but the thing is, we got to know each other really well. Ralph Nader wrote a really good book. When you really ought to look at it, it's When the Left Meets the Right. And it talks about...
Imagine being there and being one of the constituents that's trying to keep their housing and listening to this. Like, literally just sitting there and listening to them fillet each other. And you have to understand that these people have been there for, like, already an hour. The people who are actually there in person. And it's just like, this is the kind of behavior that is just why I can't even bring myself to go anymore. Because not only do they not give a shit, they like literally just treat you like dirt. They don't give a shit about their people. They like the last time I went, like we were supposed to be one of the first items heard, but because there were so many people there to speak, they moved us to the end. So I was there for 6 hours with no fucking food. They took a food break. My blood pressure. Right now, mommy curses. What they're doing is instead of addressing what we're all here for, they're filleting Sal because he's on his way out. Who's, I think he's District 7. Yes, they're closing down 3 mobile home parks because GCU bought the property. It's a long story.
I think being elected is about making good policy and working together, even though sometimes philosophically we're not there, but there's items that philosophically we can get there. And so that's what I appreciate. I also appreciate your honesty.
So since they're still filleting Sal, I'll give you guys a little bit more backstory. So we're talking about 3 different mobile home parks here. Periwinkle, Las Casitas and Weldon Court. That's over 300 residents in these mobile home parks that haven't gotten new homes for like a multitude of reasons. They've been trying to place the blame on the residents. And so that's what we're sitting here with. Like, while, they're getting sued and being told to remove people from the streets, they're literally adding 300 more because these people have nowhere to go. Just like the people who are living outside in the zone have nowhere to go. And the police get little fucking they get billions of dollars, they get $1 billion to get drones, to get like police, like license plate scanning things, except this, we could like give people housing. Sorry, I'm losing my shit. Ooh.
Appreciate you.
Fuck.
Wish you the best of luck.
Tessa, we don't know. We'll find out, maybe. Oops, I didn't mean to go off that, my bad. Trying to
share some of your wisdom from your 20 years, and it is a huge sacrifice. So thank you for your service, for your family service. Your girls are adorable, and it was nice to get to know you.
Yeah, the surplus is going to the police as usual.
Again, thank you for passing on your wisdom.
It's gonna get really bad, especially where I live, which is right around the corner from the zone.
So I think we probably know Sal more as a staffer.
They're still talking about him. See, like, I'm
improvements.
just gonna keep muting this. Fuck that. Oh, Dios mío. So yeah, it's this has been a huge issue. I have been living right next to the zone encampment for 1.5 years now, and it's been a crazy ass ride. Oh yeah, we're absolutely gonna get pushed out of the area. I mean, it just depends. I think we may be able to renew our lease right now. It seems like the landlord likes us. It's been a fluctuation of issues, long story. I really don't want to live here anymore. It's incredibly traumatizing. It's incredibly difficult. I would honestly, I'm struggling to find just a little piece of land that I can afford anywhere, like kind of close to Phoenix. But the problem with the market the way it is, and the way that everybody wants you to like make 3 times X amount when you've been paying like this sort of rent, it's ridiculous. It's not probably going to happen. So yeah, probably going to get pushed out. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. I don't want to live here anymore, but I don't think I can move because I can't barely afford this. And because I put up with the area, my landlord probably wants to keep me because he's had to evict the people that lived here before me, got evicted. I'm paying the fucking rent, so I'm trapped. Yes, I'm trapped. Come down to Hereford, AZ. We'll see. I don't know. We've like talked about Tucson. That's where everybody's like disappearing to. But I don't want to give up on Phoenix. It just, I might have to. It's like this whole shift with them getting sued and told to get people out of the zone in July. I think that's going to make it so fucking bad. And I don't know if my mental health is going to be able to handle it. So we'll see. Unsure. I'm still in the middle of I still have 1 more semester until I'm done with my bachelor's, and that's how I get my money, because that's what I live off of, is I live off my GI Bill. So are they still talking about Sal? Yes, they're still talking about Sal. So let's see. It's almost 30 minutes in, and for the entire first 30 minutes they have been talking about one of the council members who is leaving. I don't know how long Sal has been a district member, but regardless, this is something that shouldn't be a public thing and part of what's happening today. This is actually absolutely fucking ridiculous. I hear you, Stacey. I've had so many people move away already from this location. Mommy curses the most, like, best things is kind of like stuff. Think pantry stable. Honestly, that's the easiest, like ravioli, things with pop tops, or like maybe those tuna packs. Like, think easy to eat. I don't need to do any kind of cooking, and it might survive in the Arizona heat. I understand that we can't leave cans in and out the heat too long, but like the best that we can do. That's honestly the best. Raviolis, shit, Spam, Vienna sausage shit, that kind of thing. This guy's still talking. This is apps. The nice thing about it is that since I have been doing this, is I can actually take credit for this for my internship hours, so that's nice. 1+. It's like I have to put up with this bullshit, but at least I don't have to do internship if I do it. It's like participating is part of it. So where can you drop off? If you are not following me on Instagram, that's the easiest way. Go to my link tree. on this account, and then go and find the thing that says Radical Community Care. That's the Instagram account for our nonprofit. And on there, I think like it's one of the like second posts. It says we have drop sites. Though there's 3 locations in there. That's where you can drop off. So you're gonna have to go to Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, I'm sorry. Yeah. We do have a website. I think I have to look at it. Somebody else made it for me. So we will have the website figured out in a second. I don't know. I need to talk to somebody about it. I'm busy. They're still talking about Sal. That's fucking fucked up, man. My goodness.
And I get it. I didn't go through it like you did. But
yeah, the Google Map thing still works. That still has the fridges on it. I've added, yeah, the fridge. I think it's up to date. I'm pretty sure it's up to date. I went back. I'm really bad at keeping my stuff up to date. Sorry, but I'm pretty sure I went back and I updated everything. The only thing I don't have updated is my personal Amazon wish list, but the Radical Community Care one is updated.
Said, I think we're gonna miss the 2 of you, right?
I'm not gonna miss you. I hope you get replaced by somebody better.
And just working with the 2 of you, I think we in the last 4 years we've accomplished a lot of different things that we agreed on, some things that we didn't, and of course Carlos and I just agreed on a lot of other different things. Being able to set up a health office, being able to do everything that we did with the ARPA money and becoming incredibly creative.
So we're almost 30 minutes into this council meeting, and they have literally been filleting Sal this entire time.
Till like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Fuck the people that came here for a reason, right?
Councilwoman Pastor, back in 2020 or 29 or whenever that was. You know, and just being able to figure that out. So definitely gonna miss the two of you and all the work that we did. Thank you.
Councilwoman Pastor.
Well, Councilman Garcia, let's talk about equity, and equity of time, and equity of space, and equity of being able to speak, especially community. And I want to thank you for advocating for that. I also don't believe everybody knows the story of how when COVID happened.
I don't give a fuck. And I guarantee you, the people sitting in your audience don't give a fuck.
And saw how it shut down.
Shit. Go fucking post about this on your stupid fucking Instagram.
When COVID happened,
oh, guys, I'm heated.
We were in our offices day in and day out trying to figure out how we were going to solve our city problems, and how when ARPA dollars were coming
at least I get to be at home.
Where the money needed to go. It was really Councilman
There is I'm tired of these guys talking. So let's talk about something a little bit more interesting until they actually get to where they're supposed to. Let me see. Oh, I got text messages. Thanks for the tip. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys the poder in action. So there is something I'm gonna try to gather up energy to actually attend in person, which is the Poder community. I might have to back up the camera. So we've got Poder has this going on, which they're asking people to join us at one of the budget hearings to demand free public Wi-Fi. All homes in Phoenix have access to water. So that's on April 10th and then on April 15th. So I do want to go to one of these. I really value Poder. So if you're not following them on Instagram, you really should be. And I'm probably going to go do one of these. I actually want to see if we can advocate for not criminalized parks. I don't want any parks to be locked up. What the fuck is this bullshit? All right, let's see. Who are we talking about now? We're still talking about Sal?
And the second term, here we go into COVID. I don't think because of that, we were able to do all the things that you see.
That's what I've heard, that this is very normal behavior for DCU. I've heard nothing good about them except from the people that are employed by them.
Because we don't take credit in the sense of it's me, I did it. It's a we in doing it. So I want to thank you for that, because you represent community. You have the grace of everybody's voice in the community.
We're not talking about Sal,
and
right?
So thank you.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you. I also want to thank Councilmember Garcia for his service. I truly believe the city.
Oh, okay, we're talking about Garcia at this point. I also don't care about like this is not the platform for this, for people leaving.
Phoenix City Council,
not even for Garcia.
During that period between election and being inaugurated, I remember you were so gracious.
Aristotle Simp, I actually completely agree with you. There was like quite a few of them that it was kind of obvious that they were being pressured either for like their whatever, their scholarship money, whatever it was.
Appreciate your guidance and your support of me throughout this. It's been amazing working with you on the areas of the district that we share. Like,
for those who are joining us, what's happening here is that we're supposed to be having a meeting about keeping people housed right now, but they have been talking for over half an hour now because there's two of the council members are leaving, Garcia and Sal. I absolutely abhor Sal. I can't stand his ass. Garcia is the only one I like, and I just want to be like completely fair that this is not the appropriate time or place for this. Why is this even happening right now? Is it because you guys know that nobody would give a fuck if you did like a special session doing this? Nobody would tune in, so you're forcing it at the beginning when people are here to pay attention to something else? I mean, what the fuck, man? Infuriating.
Any opposed, nay? Passes unanimously. Thank you to our residents who serve our city as commissioners. Well, I believe we have 2 individuals today to be sworn in, so we will administer the oath of office.
Super problematic. Thank you, Kate. My family is a family of immigrants, and I had it so hard. Fucking fly.
Please raise your right hand and state after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution.
You can see the poor families right here in the background. Look at them having to fucking sit through this shit.
And the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And defend them against all enemies.
Stimmy, I don't know when you joined, but I was just speaking about that. It was so obvious that they were paid.
And impartially discharge the duties.
Yeah. Can I zoom in while I'm on
of
live?
The office of.
No. Zoom in the camera. Yeah. Look at these poor babies.
According to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations. Thank you for taking your oath. If you could go behind the dais, the council members would like to personally congratulate you.
Sorry, I don't really have a studio set up, as you can tell. What I get living in the neighborhood I live in. All right. Let me see. I got some questions. Oh, Jesus, that's all the way at the top. So the solutions, so what happened last time is that I believe it was Pastor Ansari and Garcia all presented this plan to the council that would have actually helped. And they said no to that plan.
And thank you for serving.
And they basically said, no, we're going to change it and do all these things that it did nothing. They applied, I can't remember the amount of money, but they applied some millions of dollars to like temporarily help. But the problem is that this does nothing to address any of the problems and doesn't get them housing. It was like, I forget the schematics, but basically it did nothing to help. It wasn't a real solution, and that's something that was addressed by Garcia afterwards. You can actually see that on Garcia and on Sari's Instagrams about like how they disagreed with the final decision by Kate, which is not a real solution.
Motion to approve items 33 through 93, except the following. Items 59, 74, 82, 87, 88, 89,
okay,
91,
ghost to me if you're going to go protest.
Noting that item 85
Let me see
is
if I
being
can
withdrawn.
Find that information on
Item 89 is as revised.
There's
Item 90
page.
is being continued to August 30th, 2023. Item 93 is an add-on. And excluding these items for virtual public comment, items 87, 89, 93. And can the clerk confirm if there are any other items that should be excluded for in-person public comment?
Yes, Mayor, Vice Mayor, excluding also item 39. Excluding item 39.
Thank you.
Second. We have a motion and a second.
Kate, basically, yes. And basically just throwing money again. It's like this waste of money.
Garcia,
Yes.
Guardado,
Yes.
O'Brien.
The three parks are Periwinkle, Las Casitas, and Weldon Court.
Stark,
Yes.
Waring,
Yes.
I'm not actually sure exactly where those are, but they're situated somewhere around
Yes.
GCU.
Passes 9-0.
Trying to find that information
Next
for you
is
still, Kate.
item
Just give me a
39,
second.
which we have two
Sorry,
residents.
I should know this off the top
Do a
of my head,
motion
but I
on
can't
item
keep up with
39.
all this bullshit.
Move to approve item 39.
Second.
We have a motion
Yes,
and a
Ansari
second.
has a bid
We
for
will turn
Congress.
to
That's
public testimony.
what
We'll
they've
begin
been
with
going for
Elizabeth
this entire
Torres,
time.
followed by Marty Whitmore.
That is why, if anybody's been following me for a while in Unsheltered Phoenix, Ansari has publicly replied to both of us on their pages. Well, their account, obviously. I don't think it's her. It's probably her staff. But, like, has only replied to us when videos have gone viral that have been exposing, like, the situation of, like, no water in the zone. Yeah? So, it's only when it reaches, like, when it bubbles up enough that people, like, are bugging her office, like, saying, why don't people have water? I saw Lefty talking about it on TikTok.
Número 39, pero estoy escuchando que la cancelaron. No sé si todavía me van a dejar hablar.
I was waiting for 39, but I heard it was going to be canceled, and I don't know if you're still allowing me to speak.
This happens a lot.
Yes. Item 39 is a settlement of a claim with the fire department.
Mande. Sí. Sí, sobre eso.
Yes, and I would like to speak in regards to that.
Por favor, ¿sí voy a poder? Sí, ok. La razón que yo vine a hablar sobre este artículo en particular porque se me hizo, y discúlpenme, ridículo que lo lleven a votación.
So the reason I'm here to speak about this article, and excuse me what I'm about to say, but I feel that it's ridiculous.
Porque esta es una ley que existe para el ciudadano, para la comunidad. Porque los que trabajan en la ciudad tienen que llevar a votación si van a pagar o no le van a pagar a la víctima.
So I believe that this is a law that it's required to cover citizens and people that live in the city and work for the city. I don't know why it has to go to vote if they're going to repay the victim or not.
Las personas que, o sea, esto es una ley que ya está constituida, las personas que van a doblar a la derecha, si no tienen cuidado, son los culpables.
So this is a law already. People that are driving are going to turn right, have to turn right. If they don't, then
I'm not actually sure what's going on in this section.
No quiero pensar que esto sea algo que por la mamá que es de la víctima se esté llevando.
I'm trying to find the statement exactly.
No lo quiero pensar que
developers and Kate Gallegos' decision.
I don't want to think that this is retaliation from the victim's mother's part. I don't want to think that.
Ustedes estuvieron hablando hace un rato de que están aquí para las leyes. Ustedes están en esos asientos porque la comunidad los puso.
You were here speaking that you're here to talk about the law and pass the laws, and you guys are sitting at your seats because you were elected to sit there.
Y eso es lo que les vengo a pedir, que empiecen a cumplir las leyes.
And that's what I'm here to ask you, to start complying with the law.
Este accidente pasó hace ya más de un año.
That accident happened more than a year ago.
Y todavía no le han pagado a la víctima y todavía lo trajeron a votar.
The victim has not been compensated, and now it's brought here for vote.
Pero estoy pensando que ya lo acaban ustedes de cancelar. Espero que ya ahora sí le van a pagar a la víctima.
Well, but I guess you guys have canceled that, so I hope that now you're going to pay the victim.
Y quiero saber si los de las que trabajan en la ciudad son como cualquier ciudadano normal.
No, they're not.
Que cometemos un error, un accidente.
Nah, they get privilege, man.
I want to know that if people that work for the city are just like an average citizen, if you commit, break the law, make a mistake, that you have the same consequences.
Y espero que ya ese caso pues sea cerrado y el muchacho reciba su compensación.
I hope the case has now settled and that the young man receives his compensation.
Porque él fue el dañado, fue su carro dañado y
he was the one hurt and his car was the one that was hurt.
Y esperemos que las leyes se sigan aplicando todos parejos.
And I hope the laws apply to everyone equally.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Councilwoman Guardado.
Thank you. So just to clarify, item 39 is a settlement claim, correct? Lori?
Mayor and council, that is correct.
Okay, because I think that's what the confusion seems like. That was what the confusion was.
I'm also confused.
So just if we can just translate that that is what we're doing. And on item 39 is that we're paying the claim.
And that we didn't cancel it.
All right. While they're figuring that shit out, so Kate, I found your information specifically what they did. All right. So this is what they did. The three council members, Pastora, Ansari, and Garcia, as I mentioned, they brought forth this plan that was kind of like this moratorium to help like give people a longer time to find housing. So overall, they voted to create an emergency fund for mobile park residents, but declined to vote on a temporary moratorium and zoning change. And basically, what this did is nothing because it didn't provide any long-term solutions. It didn't help them find anything. The emergency fund is like already running out. This article that I found from 12 News mentions that people are already facing a eviction on the 1st of April, which we are already past. So that's what that happened with. I don't have any proof, but what I've been trying to talk about a lot of the times is that all these solutions that the Phoenix City Council comes up with constantly take millions of dollars that don't actually provide long-term solutions. They're all temporary, and it's just a way to line people's pockets. I can't prove it, but I'm sure that every single one of these measures that they do is going into people's pockets that they voted for, that did favors for shit and all the political bullshit, which is why I'm an abolitionist.
Ethan Monty probably had to sign an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, not to disclose what actually happened in order to be paid for his damages or injuries. This is just another form of corruption and cover-up by the city of Phoenix that very few people would know how to find this lawsuit unless they would be able to find it online or go to numerous
while you're on fixed income, disability, etc.
This is also how they cover up many lawsuits and settlements, including Phoenix Fire and Phoenix Police.
Oh, I know this lady.
Minimal notation of the lawsuit on the agenda with not even the person's first name or case number.
She goes to a lot of these types of things. The corruption is systemic
by the city of Phoenix, including my own horrific assault by Officer Jason Gillespie, who almost killed me with his bare hands.
I think her name's
over
Marty.
calling the police for help. Justin for Ethan Mahi, Justin for Marty Winkler.
Yeah. Hello, Marty.
Councilwoman Pastor.
What would I advocate for?
Where can the public see where the
what do you mean? What would I advocate for?
So mayor and council, they can put in a public records request.
Okay, I'm not 100% sure what you mean, like advocate for. I'm advocating for a complete rip this shit out and start a new system, abolitionist. I know that that's not going to happen like in a fell swoop. It's going to take years and years and years and years, and it's going to take a lot of suffering, etc. Is it incredibly difficult to move a house after it's settled? Yes, I think that was something that a lot of the residents talked about in public comment, that moving them is not feasible. The thing would fall apart. Of solutions to the issue, honestly, just like at least like they tried with the three council members they came up with a solution, a moratorium that gave them a stretch of more time, and then they could actually like come up with more solutions. That's what I would recommend. Like, they can't tell me they don't have the money to do this. They're just bending to GCU. That's it. That's it. Do it. Do the moratorium. They say, oh, we can't do this. We can't do that. We can't do this. But the fact is that they break the law in their own favor constantly. Why can't you break it in ours?
How long will it take to get the information?
Mayor, Councilwoman Pastor, members of the council, it depends on what the request is. Some requests are more extensive than others. A fairly concise, quick request of readily available documents shouldn't take more than a week or two to get that back to the requester. But if it's a much more extensive request,
it's like, I'm only here to point out this bullshit. And actually, I should have done this sooner because this is much funner than watching it on my own. It's just like, the system's entirely broken, and there's so many people who talk to me who are like reaching out to senators and stuff, and it's just like I don't have the energy for it. And at the end of the day, this is something I truly believe in. I personally, especially as a white person, cannot ask other people especially marginalized people of any type of situation, to participate in a society that was built against them and actively works to kill them. I just cannot. That is like against my entire moral compass. So that's where I'm at.
A lawsuit that's filed versus a notice of claim, and then it would indicate that we're settling a claim.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Any additional comments? Roll call. DeCiccio?
Yes.
Garcia?
Yes.
Guardado?
I wonder,
Yes.
let me see if I can pull up the agenda
O'Brien?
and see when exactly they might be getting to the
Pastor?
mobile home park.
Stark?
Yes.
Waring? I'm sorry.
Got two screens.
Gallego? Yes. Passes 9-0. Item 59 is the Affordable Connectivity Program Outreach Service Contract Award and Citywide Wireless Network Project IGA. Vice Mayor, do we have a motion?
It sounds like free Wi-Fi. Is that free
Motion to
Wi-Fi?
approve item 59. Second. We have a motion and a second, noting that Councilwoman Pastor will not be participating in the vote. It's a very exciting item. We're trying to help people get better connected and bridge the digital divide, and want to thank Common Sense Media for partnering with us and all the work that you have already done. And
Phoenix City Council
Alana Lowry
meetings.
from Common Sense is here and available to speak if anyone has questions.
Pulling up the agenda here.
Roll call. DeCiccio?
Yes.
Garcia?
Yes.
Guardado?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Stark?
Yes.
Waring?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Gallego? Yes. Passes 8-0. We next move to item 74, Phoenix Suns non-standard crosswalk markings. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve item 74.
Second.
All right, what
Motion and a
motion
second.
item is this?
I'll turn to Councilwoman Pastor for comments.
Yes, I just wanted to congratulate the Suns on doing this. 2020, there was a point in time where many people wanted to do the
They're going to be a lot of
non-standard.
liquor licenses.
I guess it wouldn't be non-standard, but crosswalk markings, and it became a very political fight at a point where most of us have, I don't know if most of us have experienced this, but where we were receiving death threats regarding
Okay,
the
93,
sidewalks
it's an
and
add-on.
murals being painted on the sidewalks, and so I'm
It might be at the
glad
very
Phoenix
end.
Suns
So
was
that's
able to
another
get
thing
this
that's
through,
like,
and
honestly, this might drag on for a very long time. It's hard for me to ever tell exactly when they're going to be talking about things because sometimes they just move it around. Like, though I think I've mentioned a couple times on this live where the last time I went, we were supposed to be one of the first agenda items, but they literally moved us all to the end because there were so many people that were there to speak. So we were there for like fucking, I don't know, I think total like 8 hours. 6 hours until like we were like, or like at least 4 hours or 5 hours until like we were getting to the part where people were allowed to talk. And since there were so many of us, absolutely bonkers. So the one that we're looking for right now is agenda number 93. It was added on. So they're probably going to do it at the very end, unfortunately.
Thank you. Mayor, we'll turn to Councilwoman Stark.
Mayor, if I could, I'd like to take item 93 before our zoning agenda.
Oh, please.
I'll make the motion to that.
Please. She just said, let's move it to the front.
Councilwoman Stark for a motion to take item 93 out of order. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed, nay. Passes unanimously.
Cool.
So we will next go to item 93.
Are you guys watching my live? Did you hear me bitching about that? Oh, spooky.
Mayor, may I make an additional motion?
Councilwoman Stark.
I'd like to make a motion for no comment on item 93. We held a lengthy meeting on this issue 2 weeks ago. Thank
She's
you.
saying that she wants to cut the comments out so people can't comment.
We have a motion and a second.
And a second.
Any comments? Councilmember Garcia.
I don't even know what to say to this.
Thank you, and we voted this
the
guy
least we
out.
can do is listen to people, especially people who are about to be evicted from their homes. We have children here who some left school early. We have people who left their jobs here, and so I would plead with my colleagues to at least let them
Thank
speak about
you.
what they're going through.
Thank you,
It might
Garcia.
have been tough for you to hear it 2 weeks ago, but that's part of the job.
It's the bare fucking minimum.
Disappointing that you're wanting to quiet the people that are here who are fighting for their livelihoods.
Bare
I'll speak
fucking
more to
minimum.
that later, but I just wanted to speak to that, and you should be embarrassed that you're asking for this.
You should be embarrassed. Fuck, man.
Councilwoman Guardado, followed by Councilwoman Pastor.
Thank you. Well, I would like to make a secondary motion. I understand that Arizona revised statute does allow cities to impose development moratoriums.
Mayor, I'm sorry. This is a procedural motion, so I think that there's no substitute motion on the procedural motion is essentially rules of council procedure. So we need to vote on that motion first.
So I will turn to you, Councilwoman Guardado, after we have voted on the procedural motion for your motion. Councilwoman Pastor.
I guess
I have a
oh,
question.
I can move myself.
So we're doing a
God, I feel so
procedural
old
motion.
sometimes.
So are you saying we have to vote on that motion before then there's a secondary motion? Or we need to vote on this motion and then we however it goes, and then we can make another motion?
So, Mayor and Council, yes, this is a procedural motion under the rules.
I
of
never
council
go live. I don't know how to use
procedure
it. Sorry.
Suspend public comment. So, on those types of motions, you need to vote on that motion, and then other motions can be made on the item or other procedural motions as might apply.
Okay, so then my second question to
They
that
sure
is
fucking armory.
we vote on the motion. No, it's discussion right now.
You can discuss the item that
We vote
is
on-
on motion right now on whether to suspend the public comment.
You know what I'm reminded of right now? That fucking trending TikTok sound right now. First things first. Second, third. First thing.
I want to hear it from staff what the motion is.
Mayor, members of the council, Councilwoman Stark made a motion to not have public comments, is my understanding.
I didn't hear you.
Yeah, we
To
pay
not have
them for
public comment
this.
on item number 93.
Okay, so the procedural motion is to not allow to have public comment. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so right now I can have a discussion. I guess I'm actually kind of in shock.
So we will.
Me
The
too.
substance of the. So we will vote right now on how we will handle the item, and then after that, I'll turn to Councilwoman Guardado for a motion on the substance of the item. So any comments now on the first motion is appropriate, but on the general topic of the moratorium, we will turn to you after Councilwoman Guardado makes her motion.
So I'm speaking at the fact that we're going to silence people.
Thank
That's
you.
what I'm speaking on.
Thank you, Pastor.
And that the procedural motion is to shut you up. And everybody has a right in democracy to be able to have a voice. And if I wanted to live in a communist country, then I know what I'm going to be subjected to and be silent.
You don't understand
That's what
communists,
this
but that's
procedural
fine.
motion's about. And I want to be very clear and on the record of what is happening, because they don't want to hear you. They also don't want to hear the fact that you're going to be evicted May 1, that there's another set of evictions May 28th, and possibly another set of evictions June
Nothing,
30th
Kala,
and
nothing.
31st. So I am in complete shock.
Me too.
With this procedural motion. So thank you.
I'm in shock that you guys are calling it out.
Mayor, can I speak on that?
Councilwoman Guardado.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of things that have happened since the
Who
last
seconded it? I didn't catch
a
that.
lot of people have been retaliated against. A lot of people, have been threatened since the last meeting. I'm a little bit also still in shock.
Oh, you guys got threats?
Going to do this to the people that we supposedly represent, and maybe they don't look, for many of the people on this bias, they don't look like the people that they think might vote for them, and that's the reason they want to shut them down. This is really upsetting that we wouldn't let people speak. There's a lot of things that have happened that we need to hear from them. And then we're shocked when the state ledge tries to take away our rights from being able to make decisions on what happens at the city level. This is absurd. I get it that we might not all agree on what's happening, but this is absurd that we would shut people's voices the way that we're doing it right now. We have a room full of people that probably took time off from work, that probably are not making money right now because they're sitting here. And I don't think that it's about, I don't think we were going to hear the same stories. I think it was just follow-up on all the retaliation that they have lived since the last meeting that we had. So yes, this is complete. This is very upsetting, and I'm just still like in shock that this is where this council is moving. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Roll call on the motion from Councilwoman Stark.
Justicia.
I'm voting yes because we've heard the case, and
of course you are.
I just don't think it's fair to the individuals that are here.
Person I disagree with.
Yeah, well, because at the end of the day, I'm just letting you know. I mean, I always believe the public has a right to redress and a right to address it. But we
didn't see that. Nobody reported that.
Testimony for probably 5-6 months now. Well,
Councilman DeCiccio has the floor.
Okay, I'm okay if they want to yell. I'm good with it. But so I'm going to be voting yes on it, Mayor.
Garcia.
Damn.
Garcia.
Oh. I think I'm hearing some Spanish about him being a little grain of something. The constituents, the fucking people in the goddamn place are yelling. They're the residents of the mobile home parks. They're not showing it, but I'm assuming that somebody's getting dragged out. I should have gone, but this is so difficult for me. We have people here losing their something, probably their homes. Not having a grain of courage, you could hear it. Shit, man, I can hear that pain. Fuck, man. This is really bad. These poor people. We're about to be homeless. It's absolutely insane. They don't see the writing on the wall. This is why we keep putting more money into the police, because they're scared of what's going to happen eventually. You probably can't hear it because I'm recording here, but you can just barely hear over the speaker audio here that people are yelling, and they've muted it a little bit, so I can't really tell.
We will go to a 5-minute recess.
5-minute recess. All right, I'm gonna take a quick little video for my Instagram. All right, we're currently in a 5-minute recess for the city council meeting because they are trying to silence the people that are there for comment. They literally tried to pass a motion to not allow commentary, and now the crowd is screaming. And, shame on you if you can hear that. So we're having a great little watch party here, and they'll be back supposedly. Should have gone, huh?
I will make my vote to shut the city down to preemption in every available outcome.
Somebody's saying shut the city down. I'm with you. All right. Well, that was intense. For those of you just joining us, so we're taking a quick break because they tried to not allow a public commentary, and the crowd rightfully was very pissed about it. All right, let me swipe to the comments real quick. That was a lot. I don't know who Abby Lee Miller is. Are they wanting the land for redevelopment? So GCU, I don't actually know what GCU's intent is. I think they're just going to build more GCU, more fucking university. I think that's what they're doing. When there's nothing left to lose, preventable indeed. Money trail, shame on them. Yeah, this will be all of us if we let them get away with it. The parks, so what happened is from my understanding, what happened is that GCU bought the land a while ago, and the residents weren't actually informed until like within a year, and it's just been a shit show the entire way. GCU owns the land, but the residents own the homes. Some people have been moved. GCU's been saying like they've been offering them help and with with moving and other things. But the thing at the end of the day is I don't give a shit how much money. They're not giving enough money for people to move. One. And the other thing is that you shouldn't have to force people to move. This constant displacement of communities is incredibly traumatic to entire generations. And we just need to fucking stop doing this bullshit. There's so many empty lots and shit. Go build over there. Stop displacing people. People have nowhere to go. They don't have the money to do this.
Please do.
Share the frustrations. I hear all the folks, and I never thought this was coming. You actually caught me off guard, Mayor. This was even lower than you've ever gone before.
But thank you for calling. Well, he's on his way out.
Come to expect this from you. I think Councilwoman O'Brien, I would just throw caution in where you're going, following the mayor in this direction and getting this type of advice. For Councilman Robinson,
it's going to get so worse. Cactus fire.
Room, and Councilwoman Keisha, I hope as you join this council, you don't follow this trajectory.
Oh, it's Keisha, not Kesha.
You're not allowing people to speak, or you're not taking their lives and the issues that are happening to them for granted and actually listen to them. Absolutely voting no for this.
Thank you.
It makes no sense. I think this is a very important vote, especially after last week where the actual item was never voted on. There was a similar level of trickery that was played for the council to vote on something that staff was already doing. And so to not be able to have a conversation and to not allow people to speak to the need of why they need a moratorium is cowardly. Just like those folks that didn't show up last week to defend their positions as to why they're evicting people, this council is showing cowardness and not listening to these families. So that's a no.
Big fat no.
Guardado.
No.
Thank you.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Yes.
Pastor.
O'Brien, yes.
I'm in shock right now.
Thank you.
And you know why I'm in shock? Because it's poor brown people, white people that are getting evicted. And it's the poor people that are here that live in poverty at this moment because they're not able at this moment to move into an apartment because right now our market rate and our apartments are above everything. And this is how we get treated.
And this is why I can't go anymore, man. I just end up crying.
The reason why I signed the 3-person memo was because to have a dialogue, to be able to ask those owners of those trailer parks to provide more time. And if it meant that one vote was able to pass a moratorium to be able to get us into discussions with those owners, to give more time for families that are looking for housing, that need to get on vouchers, that need to figure out how they're going to go to the state and get additional money to move their trailer homes if they're movable. And I wanted to take a vote to be able to help them get that time. Not only that.
That's it. Every fucking day, more and more people are in real life.
To my moral value that this is happening in the city of Phoenix when we always pride ourselves to have compassion, equity, and grace, and the integrity of helping people. This is wrong.
Wrong.
And I wasn't going to give false hope. Last week, it was spoken about, will we go against the state? Will you vote against something against the state? The state does this. This is the law. This is what we do. This is wrong. We don't want to do that. We're scared. Well, you know what? People stood up for the Jim Crow laws. And people stood up for the Jim Crow laws that were wrong. And change happened. But they had to go up against a system that wasn't meant for them to be in. So, this is wrong. I'm a no.
Start.
She's going to say yes.
Yes. Waring? I'm sorry.
Yes.
No. Gallego. Yes. Passes 5-4.
We next will turn to Councilman Guardado for her motion.
Guys, they just took away public commentary.
So I would like to make a motion to approve a moratorium. So first I had some questions around the moratorium before I make the motion. So from what I
Council voted 5-4 to take away public comment.
In accordance with Arizona Revised Statute, Chapter 9, Section 46306, Standards for Enacted Moratoriums, this means that the city will provide at least 30-day notice to the public of hearing to adopt a moratorium. The city shall make findings justifying the need for the moratorium, and we could hold another public hearing to adopt the moratorium based on these findings. Is that true?
Mayor and council, yes. So the state statute does govern us with what action that you want to take today. And you would need to pass, or put forth a motion to direct staff to comply with the required notice under the state statutes.
Okay, thank you. So based on state law, the moratorium will remain in effect for 120 days. After that time, another public hearing will be held to determine if we needed another 120 days. Is that accurate?
Mayor, Councilwoman Guardado, if I could interject for a moment here. I think the option that the council is presented with today would direct staff to go forward and do a study to ascertain if we can make a case under state law for a moratorium. State statute requires that you have to evaluate it and then make a case, advertise it for 30 days, and bring the report to council after the advertising period for the council to take action. And then at that point, the council could decide a time frame of which it would be enacted. And so it's not just the 30-day notice. Staff would have to do an evaluation of whether or not there's criteria under state law that would have to take place as well. And we do have Andy Abrams here, who is a attorney that is advising the city in this matter as well. So if there are questions for him, that would be good to ask those.
So with that, I would like to make a motion in accordance with these legal guidelines.
Sorry for my very
figure out the moratorium,
expensive setup.
Bring it back for us to be able to vote on this. Because I think the goal here is not to make, the goal here is to making sure that people can stay housed until they're able to find a place to stay. We understand that there are certain laws that do not protect folks, but I think this moratorium, could help people at least until they're able to find a place to stay. So overall, our goal is to keep families in housing. If mobile home park residents are able to find housing earlier than that, I am happy for us to reconsider this item and remove the moratorium sooner. Does that make sense?
Mayor and Councilman Guerra, I just want to make sure that it's clear that the council.
Thanks for sharing so much, Jazz. I got a little notification that you shared it a lot.
Motion includes a discussion that if there's resolution found, then the moratorium would be lifted. But there's no moratorium now.
There is no.
Because that is not something that's on the council agenda. So until staff could do a study, come up with a report, advertise, then go to council, then there could be a discussion about a moratorium. So until that happens, there's no moratorium. I want to make sure that that's
advertise it with the 30 days, talk to the folks, find the findings, and then for us to be able to enact it, and then being able to keep people housed, so that can help us keep people housed until they're able to find a place to stay.
To bring something back for the council to evaluate.
Right.
I think what you have heard from us and our attorney in the past is that we don't believe that legally it's going to meet those statutory requirements. And so that will be a challenge that we will have to figure out if there's a way to address that. And so I want to be clear for the
Ninja Boy
who is watching and the council on what you're voting on, that there are very defined criteria in state statute that talks about its new development and it's the impact that it places on public facilities that enable the city to
holy shit, that's a lot.
Those are things like water and sewer infrastructure that can't handle the new apartments that would be built, for example, to provide some background for the council.
Mm-hmm. Right, but we can take those 30 days to evaluate, to hold the meetings, to hopefully help find the findings, to be able to enact a moratorium. And if we're able to find housing for folks, then we are able to lift that. I'm not saying that we're voting on that today. I'm saying that we give ourselves those 30 days that we can legally
so many people are going to die, Cactus.
To help people to be able to extend this and to be able to find the findings, to be able to provide folks with that moratorium.
So
the news is kind of covering it.
I want to be clear that the 30 days is once a report is done, we would then publish the report and advertise for a council discussion about whether or not the legal requirements in state statute can be met. And so it's not.
I think we understand that, but I just want to be clear that is what legally we can do, and that's what I'm asking right? According to Julie, that is what we can do.
So, Mayor and Council, so what you can do today is direct staff to provide a required study to justify imposition of a moratorium, and then direct staff to publish the required notice and schedule the adoption of a moratorium. I think what we're not clear about is you're saying 30 days in order to keep people in their housing, but the moratorium wouldn't be in effect, or there's no stay on any of the eviction until, while we go through that process.
That's right. Yes.
So
that is the motion.
And Mayor and Councilman Guerrero, we do have a brief PowerPoint that kind of lays out those.
And just like we're not letting people speak, we're not going to go through this PowerPoint again, right? That's the motion with Julie just.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Move forward with that.
This is the topic.
So I just want to be really clear. I mean, this is when I want to make sure that, I wish individuals were here when we're saying a moratorium. It doesn't stop people from being evicted. It just doesn't stop it. And that has been the goal of the individuals that are here, is not to get evicted. So it's a moratorium on development. And I want to make sure at least people that are hearing this hear this. And when I said that they're being, that this would be just kind of a false hope, is because by the end of April, there's a good chance most of them will be gone out of at least one of the trailer parks. I don't know about the other ones. But I just want to give a thought here to the
City of Phoenix
and everybody else that's here, and which I've been very supportive of, is that $2.5 million that we have. It didn't dawn on me until afterwards that it was only for services. I mean, if we wanted to make it as a direct investment, I'd be all over that. I mean, I would vote for that, as long as it was distributed equally amongst the other individuals. But yeah, what was it, Ian? Go ahead.
Councilman, we just couldn't hear you. You faded away a little bit from your microphone.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Thank you.
Plus, I'm mumbling a little bit, but which I don't normally do. It's that the Italian nature in me prevents me from mumbling, right? So, what I was saying is that the $2.5 million that we had dedicated in the last vote that we talked about, and we moved forward, if we were to allow that to be used for actual disbursements for those individuals to be able to find housing, like monies rather than services. I think we'd be better off doing that, and it makes it a softer landing for a lot of individuals that are looking for another home. That's expensive to live right now, right? And if we're looking to solve the problem, we just use that $2.5 to, provide housing for them, where they get, use it as a voucher or however else we can legally do that with the COVID monies rather than service. And I think we can do that, can we not? Rather than service oriented. It's more of a question.
Mayor, members of the council, I think as we're exploring how to use the $2.5 million, some of it is being used for services, and I believe, and Lori can correct me if I'm wrong, some of it is also intended to be utilized where possible for down payment assistance and rental assistance. The challenge that we have is that it's ARPA funding, and ARPA funding does not avail itself to folks that are not have legal standing, and that is the challenge that the council has been made aware of and has been trying to work around for the past 3 years as it pertains to ARPA.
So,
Councilman Pastor?
So what Councilman DeCiccio was stating, the 2.5, we are doing, and we have been doing for the last 3 years. And the reason why I'm speaking about it is because we have been doing it, and we've been walking hand in hand. Those council members that are in this fight have been walking hand in hand with each individual and tenant to get them what they need. The bottom line is we need more time. Our stock is not out there. Our housing stock isn't there. Some of the services, they don't qualify, or they have to move to a different qualification in order to get what
there are no solutions, Mary.
Paperwork that is
There's
needed.
Not enough.
They need to go stand in line for hours to get the paperwork and then wait. It's time. And that's what I don't understand why people don't get. But of course, people don't get it if they're not in this situation.
Privilege.
Councilman Ansari, or Vice Mayor. I just sorry if this is repetitive. I just wanted a clarification.
Kate is such a
from Julie,
snake.
so I understand the motion. So, can you just explain one more time what voting yes would mean?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Mayor and Council Member. So, you're directing staff to go out and do a required study to justify the imposition of a moratorium. And so staff would proceed down that path. And then you're also directing staff to publish the required notice and schedule the adoption at the next available council agenda. Again, of course, assuming that there's a study to support it, or at least if council wants to proceed at that point.
Okay, great. Thank you. Councilman O'Brien.
Thank you. Okay. And further clarification, Julie, on that, is that a secondary motion, a substitute motion? I'm not sure what. I just want to make sure.
That was just a motion.
Did we not have a motion on the floor?
Councilman Guardado's motion
is the only motion.
Is the only motion.
I thought I heard secondary, and that was what confused me. And then to that point regarding a study to justify a moratorium, should staff conduct a study, and I believe some research has at least a little bit has been done to say that we don't think that this is legal and it is not justifiable under the state statute, where does that leave us then?
Mayor and council, I would suggest, if we have legal issues, that I would suggest that this go to an e-session for discussion of any of those legal issues.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And just to be very clear, a moratorium does not prevent anyone from losing their housing. Staff has recommended that this would be illegal. Has anything changed in that recommendation?
They're muting something. That's why it's cutting in and out. Somebody's yelling.
Mayor, no, there's been no change in that advice. The statute, ARS 9-46306, says, quote, a city or town shall not
I gotta start showing up to these because that's the only way to get the not muted audio.
Or land development, quote unquote. It's not a moratorium that would enjoin a landlord from eviction, the word that's been used here today, or taking possession of the property. So if a moratorium were adopted following the procedure that the city attorney has outlined, it would still be limited to a moratorium on construction and land development, not a moratorium on eviction.
I think that's very important. These are very scary times for individuals, and it would be a political stunt to tell people that this vote will help them in the very, very hard situation that they are in.
How is it not going to help if it's going to extend the time period? Giving more time is helping.
To these folks, and to falsely imply that we will is an unfair political stunt at a time where this is very serious issues.
You're an unfair political
a lot of people
stunt.
are engaging on
Damn
this
it.
in a very meaningful way. Appreciate the legislature passing Representative Gress's bill and Governor Hobbs signing it. 5 of us have voted to put millions of dollars towards trying to find a solution, and staff has been working creatively to think about what we can do. We want to help folks, but we can't do that with stunts. We have to do real policy that is vetted by lawyers and is going to stand up to scrutiny.
Here it is. We have to follow the law. Meanwhile, they break it.
Does anyone else have additional comments?
Yeah, you're a cocksucker.
Seeing no additional, you have Councilmember Garcia?
Thank you, Mayor. On a second, what Senator Hernandez is saying, there's plenty of situations where we've done that. And again, I know technically you're not preventing these folks from being evicted, but you're creating leverage where they don't have it now. And so where corporations like GCU or others that are trying to evict people have to now sit at the table because they refuse to do so and look these folks in the face so that they can figure something out or buy us time. And that's what we're doing. And so the only political stunt I see is evading a vote and evading public from comment. This is not a political stunt. This would actually be a leverage point. It would be standing with these folks, standing for the only affordable housing that's available or left in this city. And so I think voting for this, it's what the community folks want. It's what they've been asking for. It's what these children, elderly folks need from us. And so I hope we vote yes on moving forward with this.
They're not going to, Carlos, but I appreciate you.
I have a comment.
Councilwoman Pastor.
I just want to say the political stunt was silencing people. And the political stunt, regardless of how this vote goes, the stunt was silencing those that are going to get evicted and those that are going to be homeless and those that are right now sick and in the hospital who are going to find out